Anakin, the anti-paladin is really back again and managing and turn all of your soldiers into mannequins. They stagger when the force truck is grabbing them. Now they're stammering and panicking and channeling dark. It's got me mad again. I'm piercing your heart, biblical javelin and traveling to different planets. When I get bored, they send them scrambling like, oh my god, he's really battering, attacking and damaging all the members when my gather is scattering. No light burning within me. I'm empty. I lost everything. Got nothing to lose simply. A bad man. I deserve to be killed. Let's be real. Make the hardest scream of me squeal. Master of the darkness, massacring artist. Hope the fat rebel see you watch it throw the farthest. Turn your favorite masters to dearly departed. I'm saying he was such a nice boy when he started. The dark side, take over. Don't try to fight. Listen to my words all the way. All day, kill them all with one strike. Feel the dark side, take over. Don't try to fight. Listen to my words all the way. All day, kill them all with one strike. The dark force guides me, attacks your psyche. It replies you will die if you try to fight me. You feeling a little cutthroat, kill yourself. I had Luke's limbs expelled and bid for well. My own son, I don't give a damn, this is war. I am hardcore, you can go ahead and parkour, but you still ain't getting out the front door. I am the lord of the dark side, had you begging down on all fours. I've heard this conversation in all forms. In the end, I still will use your head as a dartboard. Think I need a saber, I smack you with the cardboard sword to your sword. Got force throws galore, and I store any energy pours through my pores till I'm bored. I implore you back down no more. You will feel the true wrath of a Sith bloodbath on behalf of the all-black man of the myth. Now you really done it, I cannot control my composure. I need to murder something. Once I get it started, the motor can only keep running. I am a composer of death with every murderous breath. I'm trying to further my rep by purging the best. The power and the surge of possess, encouraging the rest on anyone observing and just disturbing it best. Your fighting is discerning it best. It's learning it best to die for some dignity rest. See? Now you got me all worked up. Whole cities had to die for that one verse burnt up. Rip your whole body from the earth up. I am more motivated, giving new meaning to the phrase turned up. Now you got me all worked up. Whole cities had to die for that one verse burnt up. Rip your whole body from the earth up. I am more motivated, giving new meaning to the phrase turned up. The dark side, take over. Don't try to fight. Listen to my words all the way. All day, kill them all with one strike.
All right, everybody. Welcome to LMG Live. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of that. Daddy Fat Snaps was the Darth Vader rap. Just dropping that in there for everybody with the drop of Battlefront 2's beta. So I wanted to put that out there. So if you don't know Daddy Fat Snaps, he is I guess an amateur rapper that does a bunch of raps on lots of different games, from Destiny to Friday the 13th to even like the McGregor fight, lots of different things. So you can find him on Spotify. Some of his stuff's good, some of his stuff, it's all right. So, but I found that one. But welcome to LMG Live. Tonight it's going to be myself, and we have a special guest, Mr. Uber Disco. Uber Disco, if you'd introduce yourself and give us a little info about you.
Yeah. I'm a LMG resident gamer here. I talk to a lot of people in LMG about building computers and, playing video games, getting some little events organized on other consoles besides Xbox. But I like retro gaming and current gaming. I try and stay kind of all around in the gaming community and just dabble in a little bit of everything.
You like to drop a lot of stuff in PC gaming chat as well as general, and if I remember correctly, you're into a lot of emulators. You've got a lot of the older consoles, I believe, and a lot of stuff around the house. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I used to collect. I've collected since, I don't even know, like 12 years old. I've went out and I think I saw a Turbo Graphics and I realized it was different than Nintendo or Sega, and I just thought there's others. Yeah. So it sparked a big thing for me, and I was out there looking for Sega Master System and all the older stuff that I didn't really know about as a kid. And I collected over time, started selling on eBay, learning more about retro gaming and really what was out there and even available in Japan and maybe not available in America.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language. I have I didn't get into retro stuff, but I went out and purchased a Japanese Xbox 360 console back in the day to play specific Japanese games. And
was that Monster Hunter?
Yes, there was Monster Hunter on there. And then I went through, actually, I had a trip last year to Tokyo. So I went to Akihabara and went
Oh,
down,
man.
and it was
Yeah, that's a dream
overwhelming.
of mine.
It was overwhelming to see everything there. But I came away. Actually, I've shown these a couple times. Let me grab them. My favorite thing that I got while I was in Akihabara was I came away with the Gears of War 3 Japanese edition,
Nice, nice.
Halo 4 limited edition,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and then the best one is the only one that was actually you could play on both systems and get achievements. There it was. Is a Gears 2 all in Japanese.
Nice.
So it was a pretty cool. It was a fun little trip. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a link to a Japanese seller on eBay, and he's really good. I mean, it's you want to make like a 2-week order with him almost, and kind of make it a big order because the $14 shipping fee is a little hefty on certain games. You might be paying 99 cents on a game, and then have to pay 14 to get it shipped. But
Okay. Is it through like PlayAsia, or is he actually does he buy off the Japanese Amazon?
I don't know. Me and the guy who I'm actually going to start working at this arcade, and we were talking about these Japanese sellers the other day,
Cool.
and he knew exactly who I was talking about. He's like, I don't know who runs that because they have so much stuff, like literally so much stuff. I have a box 3DO that I bought from there that like was brand new. I pulled it out, and I don't understand how they kept it since '93. It still smelled like new plastic. So I mean,
man. Okay.
yeah, they have some really crazy stuff, and I mean, their 360 stuff is just like so dirt cheap because Japanese players don't do it. They don't play 360.
Yep. Well, that if you do finally get that, there's 2 games I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And there's Mochi Mochi Pork and Sweets, I think is what it's called. And even while I was in Tokyo, it goes for like 90 US.
Is that the shooter though? Is the directional shooter?
Yep, it's a bullet hell or a shmup or something like that. And then there's another one. I think it is. It came out on the 1, and it's a version of Tetris that was only released in Japan. So a lot of guys had, and I'll have to look at it. I heard Giant Bomb had been talking about it about a year ago, and that was the other one that I want to throw into my retro game stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely. You'll have to send me the link to both of those, just so I can be precise with what they are. I mean, the guy who runs the shop that I'm at, he might have them.
Okay.
Like, he has so much, and people don't usually buy Japanese stuff from him. I'm probably the only one, you know.
Right. Yep. Okay. Well, cool. Well, good. Well, I appreciate you coming out and joining me today. And
no problem.
I'm going to take a quick moment.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, my pleasure. I'm also following the chat, so if anybody's got any questions, like I said, today is just like the intro states, and I'll go back to it. This is LMG Live, the Not Prepared episode. So we are free for all, anything goes. We're going to talk about some different things. I've got a sort of outline, but really it's just having a good time, just hanging out, following up. Moose asked me a good question. In my background, I do have an American flag that is folded, as you guys can see. That was presented to me by a gentleman in Idaho. That was for my grandfather's funeral that we had a couple, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, a couple months ago. He had a military funeral, and that was one of his things. In his passing, he wanted me to have the flag, so that's why it's sitting back there. I'm going to put it up into sort of like a shadow box. I haven't got it to yet, but I'll just add it to everything that I've gotten here, and that's just a general reminder of Mr. Gene as a good old man. I love Grandpa, so miss him, but that's what that's for, Mr. Moose. So there you go. But I wanted to not to bring any downers or anything like that. So what I wanted to jump into today, and again, Uber, if you've got anything you want to dive into, I know you're more on the PC side, correct, of our LMG community, correct?
I like the PC. Like I said, I'm very all around. I'll play whatever. I've been getting more into PC since I have. Sorry, I got interrupted by my cat there.
Oh no! What's the cat's name?
Magic.
Excellent.
He's very, very, very big. He's a dog-sized cat.
Holy smokes!
Like, yeah, it takes a bit. He's very he doesn't care. He don't mind. Get down there. Yeah, he might jump back up here, so if I have to
no worries.
Just give me 1 second.
Hey, it's free for all, so if he wants to bring anything...
I'm an all-around gamer, so I kind of like to play retro stuff. I've actually been just like straying away from that so much because of PUBG,
Uh-huh.
and Destiny 1 really put me into this really competitive shooting, I don't know, atmosphere. So I've been doing a lot more current gen gaming than retro gaming. But yeah, now that I've got hardware, I have been getting really into PC stuff. I've been looking
Okay.
up PC hardware. I mean, I don't have some of the higher end stuff, so I couldn't tell you really what it does, but from watching videos and stuff, I have a better rounded explanation of where you could, upgrade to get better stuff. I've been talking to some of the people about building PCs like Adam 12 and
Yep.
people in LMG about actually doing newer builds like the Coffee Lake, and that's why I'm saying we could kind of talk about that
Okay.
later. It's a new thing that's out there and it's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I built my rig. I guess it's a year old now, and went through and worked with a buddy of mine, and just going through PC Part Picker and finding out some of the things that I wanted to add to it, and to be able to. I mean, if I want to, my biggest thing next probably is a graphics card. After that, I got a lot of stuff under the hood that I'm pretty happy with for the
Yeah,
amount. But yeah, that's I know we have a good group of guys who are very interested on the PC side and that part of building, modding. I mean, not modding them, but just in essence being able to plug and play different things, upgrading.
yeah.
So I am totally ignorant
It's
of all of
definitely
that. So any information you've got is awesome.
yeah, yeah. Well, so like, I mean, the Coffee Lake is more like it is more of an entry level kind of thing. So
Hmm.
they've got they have so they came out with Skylake, and I think 2016 they had Skylake. So and then 2017 they came out with Cabby Lake, and now it's like 6 months down the road and they're already coming out with Coffee Lake. And what it is they're trying to, I think, dampen Ryzen sales because Ryzen really came out in 2017, right when they're coming out with Cabby Lake, and they're just kicking ass.
All right,
I mean,
I'm gonna stop you real quick.
go ahead.
What the hell are you talking about? What is Ryzen? What's
What is
Cappy like? What
Ryzen?
is this stuff?
So Cabby Lake is Intel's seventh gen. Let me make
Okay.
sure I'm saying, yeah, seventh generation CPU. They, like I said, in 2016 they came out with their sixth generation,
Okay.
and then Intel came out with the seventh in 2017, and then they came out with their eighth now 6 months down the road. It's like Xbox dropping a new console like halfway in the year. You know what I mean? Because PlayStation's doing better or something. Kind of almost like the PS4 Pro if you look at that.
Okay. Okay.
You know
So
what I mean?
an iteration on an existing platform.
Kind of. It is different. It's bringing its own thing to the table, and it is bringing like it's nice, and they're trying to make something. They're trying to make the consumer happy and give them a reason to go back to Intel, kind of for like power to be able to do more editing stuff. I feel like it's
Okay.
not so much like gaming. It will do great in gaming, just like any Ryzen processor is going to do great in gaming. It's it's more there for people who are trying to upgrade or they want something similar to what Ryzen's offering, because they
Okay.
have these I'd have to look and see what Ryzen are. I'm not too familiar with them, but I know they've got so many cores and so many threads. I think their top one is a 16 thread CPU, and now they've got their with Intel they have 4 core, 8 threads with the i7s. That is, and that's like a big deal when you look at it. It's very confusing AMD to Intel, but
Uh
it
huh.
seems like Intel can run on less cores and less threads and have a better performance, core to thread versus AMD. So you look at something like a 6 core to 8 core Ryzen processor, it might be on the same level as a 4 core 8 thread processor on the Intel side.
Okay.
So it does get really confusing going into like why they are, different. But what's going on now is that they have these multi-core, multi-threaded processors, and they're trying to come out with their own multi-core, multi-threaded. So now they've got their 6 core, 12 thread i7 that's coming out at the same price as my i7 really that I bought, a couple years back. The 6700K that was 4 core 8 thread, but now this one's 6 core 12 thread, same price range.
Okay.
So it's just interesting for people, and especially since they just came out with Cabby Lake and they just came out with another i7 that was 4 core 8 thread, and now 6 months down the road they're saying, hey, this CPU is the same amount of money that you just paid, but now you're getting 6 core 12 thread. and it's pretty cool. Like if you look into to like gaming and stuff for editing, like I said, it works really well because it gives people a great editing platform for a more entry level price instead of trying to look at Intel and say I want this 6 core. Because before, if you were looking at any 6 core i7, you're spending $1,000, and now they bumped that down to 300, and that's really, I guess what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that they're making it more affordable for the consumer to have one of those multi-core, multi-thread CPUs.
Okay. All right. And that's something that some of the guys have been discussing with you on just building some units and figuring out what
Well,
I guess
yeah,
what the best bang for their buck.
Kind of, kind of. I mean, they're kind of expensive. It doesn't take a whole lot to really get into PC gaming. I built a computer for a friend not too long ago, and he paid 300 on the PC I built, and I probably put about 250 into it, so I made about $50 out of it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it was just I mean, it was really easy. The CPU and the motherboard I bought used off of Craigslist, and it was just an old FX 6300 CPU, and that's a 6 core, an older 6 core CPU, but it can support things like PUBG and games like that. So with that kind of base, you put a decent graphics card like the 1050 Ti, something current, and you've got a gaming system. You know what I mean? Like, you can pay console prices for a good gaming PC nowadays. You just have to know where to look.
Wow.
I mean, you could even, I'm about to build one now that's a Kaby Lake. It's a Pentium. It's a Pentium processor, which back in the day, you'd be like, stay away from that, you know. They don't have hyper-threading, but these ones have threading on them, so they show up as 4-core CPUs, and that was the really cool Kaby Lake CPU that came out a while back, and there's a lot of noise around that because it was a $56 CPU that if you paired it with like a 1050 Ti, you're going to get the same performance that you would get with an i3 processor or maybe an i5 in certain applications and games. Like, I think once you hit like Battlefield and you're doing those 64-player battles online, you might see a little bit of stutter. But honestly, like if you're doing campaign in Battlefield, you could ultra all your graphics out on a 1050 Ti and play on that Kaby Lake Pentium just fine, you know.
Jeez, that's not too shabby then. I mean, like I said, for $300 to $400 for a comparable gaming PC, that's right up there.
Like I said, the processors coming out, the new Coffee Lake processors are $300. They're $350 MSRP, but they're really, it's hard to even find them right now. That's another thing about the Coffee Lakes is that they're very scarce right now. They're trying to sell out their Kaby Lakes that they had before, so they've got all this stock of Kaby Lake and Sky Lake still, really, and they're trying to get rid of those. So they're not really shipping to retailers as much. So people like Micro Center are charging like $500, I've heard.
Oh, jeez.
And like people are posting pictures online of them paying like $150 over MSRP. And that's even what I said to Adam in chat not too long ago is you know, you should look at iBuyPower. I wouldn't usually recommend them because they charge like a lot of money for a case. Granted, they'll give you a good case for your system and stuff, and they'll give you nice parts, but they usually charge you like a top end, like $1,000 or more. You know, they have a couple of things in there for $700-800, but they don't really dip under like $400. You know, you can't really get those budget kind of builds from them. But I mean, if you're looking for a new system and you wanted to get a Coffee Lake, they get sent a lot of those processors because they are a big building company like that. So they can bundle the parts. They can sell more bundled platforms like that, and they're cheaper. Really, I mean, you're looking at building a system that you might be paying for overpriced parts like the Coffee Lake, you know, and it might extend your build to where you're out of your price range. You're over in the 2,000 range instead of the 1,500.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will be the first to tell you honestly. I mean, probably 75% of that went way over my head. I went through PC Part Picker and decided that I wanted X, Y, and Z, and then I built it around there. And
I mean, that's a great way to go. I would say go to PC Part Picker and then try and check a local retailer like Micro Center. Like I have a Micro Center near me.
I do in Houston as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're great. I mean, you might see open box parts that are just, you know, like maybe 50% off. You know, I got my RX 480 for I think $207, and I got that on launch, and I think they were $270 when they came out. I mean, it was a hell of a deal just to get $70 off because it was open box.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was my biggest. It's the one thing I did like about PC Part Picker, where I went through and identified everything I want, and I wasn't going to build it all that day. So then I
Yeah.
knew, okay. I mean, I bought stuff from Micro Center, I bought stuff from Amazon, I bought stuff from
Yeah.
Newegg.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If you do your hunting, like I think I bought my the Cabby Lake that I'm gonna build here soon with the Pentium. I bought that off of B&H Video, and they had a sale going on, so it was $52 instead of 56 shipped. So I went ahead and did that.
Right.
It just come out. I seen the YouTube videos popping up. I'm like, okay, I need to do this.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, again, everybody, Uber Disco is always in that PC gaming channel on Discord, or you could always just add him if you've got any questions.
Yeah, if anybody needs any help, any gaming related questions, I can try and help you, even if I don't know. Try and figure it out too.
And if you're looking for that retro stuff, like you said, there will be days where you will just open it up, and in gaming, there'll just be some random stuff in there that you're like, oh shit, I remember playing that. And then, okay, where'd you get it? So, and also, I think you post a lot of your like just crazy Craigslist or Amazon deals that you just get. Because I know, I mean, there's been pictures I've seen where you're in the car.
I love the deals, man.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, I just picked this up for $5, or just, I mean, whatever. So keep doing that stuff. It's always fun to look.
I need to just start filming. I watch people on YouTube doing it, and they have so many viewers, and I really want to do something like that, but it's just it's a hard thing. It takes a lot of time to film and really like sit down and really doing what you're doing. That's why I wanted to join you tonight, because I mean, I just need to get my feet wet.
Well, thank you. Well, this is totally where, I mean, I'm an amateur here. I can learn everything each time I do it, and I screw something up every time I do it too. So it doesn't really matter. That's what we're here for. But well, I want to jump into a little bit of just some quick rundowns on some things that are just going on in gaming. Some people have jumped in, and we've got some people in chat right now who have played it. We had the Battlefront 2 beta dropped. That goes along a little bit with our opening Darth Vader rap. So I did not play it. I think there are a couple people in chat who have. I believe maybe Mr. J-Man, our resident Aussie, played it. Shooting looked good. I watched some stuff on Twitch on it. I didn't play Battlefront 1. I played the old-ass Battlefront PC game a long time ago. It's always fun being a stormtrooper and shooting shit. But I don't know how it's going to go, or if it's going to continue. I know something that was brought up that we will probably talk about a little bit tonight is there are loot boxes in it. So I don't know exactly what you get, but there's people talking out there about how Battlefront 2 beta's loot boxes are creating some concerns. So I'm going to link a Polygon article in chat that talks about it a little bit. And this sort of goes along with another game that came out last week, Forza 7, that also has loot boxes in it. But I believe those have been in Forza games for a while. And then the latest thing is Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, which released earlier this week. And it has loot boxes in it. So I think there is a lot of, again, I think that's a part of gaming nowadays, is that randomized loot box. Destiny has it. Overwatch has it. I believe, Halo has it. I think maybe even Heroes of the Storm or those types of games where you are either being able to pay actual money for the chance of opening a loot box and getting something cool, or maybe waiting over time to get in-game currency that takes a long time to accumulate to try and get something cool. So I think it's something that it's part of gaming now. You probably are the same area that I am. As long as it's not pay to win and it's more just grind to get cool cosmetic shit, okay. But when you get down that road, and I think my biggest issue, and Bovice brings it out, Siege has it as well. That's just a slippery slope on how it's done. And consumers nowadays, I mean, if I'm going to pay $60 for a game, which a lot of these AAA games and stuff that we've discussed, I don't really know how much more I want to dive into on the microtransactions area to buy stuff that's now behind a paywall. So, but that's just me. I will say I have enjoyed sort of kind of how Destiny 2 has done their loot boxes. You do have the capability of getting free loot. You don't know what it's going to be, but that's just part of the randomness of it. So, are there any game? I mean, I guess PUBG doesn't have any of that kind of stuff because it's all straight random on whenever you drop
it actually
in.
does.
It does.
It
Okay.
does have loot boxes. So when you play PUBG and you actually get kills or what they call hit points, if you don't, I mean, if you don't even kill the person, but you shoot them and blood comes out, you get what they call hit points. So
Okay.
they do have loot boxes, and I mean, honestly, it seems like some of these things might become like a career path for some people. It
Yes.
seems crazy, but
I mean,
like,
is this going to be the new grinding of gold in World of Warcraft?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't say for sure, and I don't think that it's going to be quite like that, but I could see people playing like PUBG, right? Because you can get these mini skirts that are about $300 and stuff like
Shit.
random items like that. Yeah, they have the $900 cloak that you can buy if it's the same one that you got if you pre-ordered the game.
So is this sort of, and I don't play it, but I've listened to a lot of Giant Bomb, and one of the guys on there plays a ton of Dota, and you will get these just random cosmetic items that you can sell on an open market. So does PUBG have something that's an open market?
Well, Steam just has the market. It's Steam
Holy
itself,
crap.
and you actually get Steam currency back into your wallet. So you're pulling back money that you could play, you could pay for games with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you could never extract it into your PayPal or you know what I mean, or get it in your Patreon. But what it's gonna, you can use that money to buy a game. So essentially, if you could grind a game and you knew how to get those random items, or found like the Destiny cave, and
Right.
could loot up those items and be able to sell them on that market, you might be able to buy some new games and not really pay too much money on Steam. You might be able to buy into to getting the good items,
Yeah.
again. But
Man.
no, it's crazy. I think that, like you said, as long as it's not pay to win, it's cool. Like, I mean, if Battlefront 2's out there and they're selling a weapon, like I guess kind of like the mask that you can buy in Siege, but you have to pay the Siege currency that costs money.
Right.
If it's like that with weapons, I think that's kind of unfair. I like how Siege has their thing set up to where you don't, you can pay $30, buy the base game, and kind of grind all your characters
Right.
out.
Exactly. Yep. And
I mean,
it takes forever to grind those characters out.
yeah. I know. I've got the base version. And
Yep,
I play
same
a little
here.
bit on PS4, so I think I'm about 8 characters in, and I'm hitting that point where I'm paying a little bit more for each one, and
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely a grind. I couldn't imagine. They've got the Steam version. I don't know if you've heard of the starter edition.
Okay.
They have on Steam for 15, and it's apparently double for. I think you get your first one, but then it's double for every other one next.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so it would just take you a lifetime to get every operator. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I guess that's the one that they get people with their microtransactions, and they're like, okay, now you either have to buy the full game or you have to, pay for each character.
And that's tough, and I understand. I mean, the price of a game has been that $50 to $60 range for a long time. But like everything else, price of production, I mean, salaries, doing things has gone up. So to try to offset some of those costs, I understand microtransactions. It's I think it's a part of life, and you find, like I said, there's some games. I dumped $20 into silver in Destiny 1 just to go buy some packages.
Yeah, I mean, I got Thriller in Destiny 1. You had to do that.
Yes, exactly. And I have it as well. Yep. It was one of those things where it was like, hey, I want it. This is what I want. But I think you just have to be, you're cognizant of what you want to do. There may be some games that you play, and you're not going to go into the microtransaction. You're not going to go into that economy. So you may not have the cool shit that the other people have decided that they are going to do.
I will say it's kind of cool on Steam that you can buy some of the stuff. Like, grant you, they've got the $400, $300 mini skirts, stuff like that. But you can go in there and spend like 20 cents and get some cool punk rock boots.
Yep.
My friend bought some, and I seen him have them, and he told me to go buy them. And it's weird how their system works. He bought them, they went up 20 cents. I bought them, and then they went up to 21 cents, and I bought another pair for a friend, and then they went up to 22 cents. So every time you buy it, it increases its value. So
Ooh.
you might buy something like that, and I can't trade the other boots actually; they're non-tradable. So
Oh,
I have to
boo.
keep those other ones. So hopefully they go up in price over time. I can sell them for $5.
We're gonna have to
Grab
start a
something
new
on
channel
sale.
on in LMG of our exchange rate, like what J Man says, exchange rate and regional gouging. We'll just have to be able to take care of what insider trading on each of
Yeah.
these available loot markets. But enough of that. I mean, that's just a, like I said, that's a topic of conversation, but we don't want to stick on it too long. One of our esteemed members, Mr. Adam, wanted me to throw out. There's a couple guys here who like Forza 7, and one of the fun things that Xbox did do back in the day was create our drivatars. So if you have had to go up against Mr. Adam 12, make sure you give him wide berth going into corners because he accelerates as fast as possible and smashes into walls. So that's just my fair warning. PSA out there. Everybody, stay away from Mr. Adam.
No tandem drifting.
Yes, exactly. No, he does not play the game the way it is built to be played. He plays it like probably the majority of us do. Pedal to the metal. We use the walls as bumpers and other cars as bumpers. And the best car that hasn't blown up across the finish line wins.
Can I ask the chat something?
What's
Is
up?
there
Yeah.
is there the do they have the Toyota Torino or the AE86, and let me think, what else is the other one? The MR2 or Celica Supra in Forza 7. I haven't played it yet, but I know that the car list seems like they diminish sometimes, and sometimes they're greater.
Those will be Mr. Adam questions, so he will hopefully get back to us and let us know.
Cool, cool.
But we've had, and that's one of the other things, everybody watching, we've always had a good showing for Forza, and have had, if you back in the day, we've had a handful of drunken Forza nights where we would get 6 or 8 of us, and we would just randomly race. And one of the best nights was we had somebody, I was streaming, and we had a kid who decided that he wanted to play with us, and we just had a blast smashing into this kid and him talking shit to us and us talking shit to him. So those are always fun. We will. I need to. I don't have 7, but I know 5 was free for Xbox, and I have 6 as well. So we need to get back into some drunken Forza
I'm down
nights.
to play 5. I've got that.
Yep.
I think
So
they gave it for free.
they gave
a
it
while
for
back,
free
too,
last
so-
month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we should get back into that and get
Yeah,
that
it's
going.
got some of my favorite cars in that too.
Yep.
I like that one.
So that was always fun. So, but I digress. Let's see what else we got. I know just a couple things for some of our Destiny people. The well, you're playing on Xbox right now, correct? Uber?
No,
for-
I'm actually playing on
or
PS4.
you're playing on
I have,
PS4,
I have a
okay.
GameFly rental of the game, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I
I've
know.
been playing on PS4. I'm at
What do you
about
think of it?
270, so I haven't done like too much. I haven't done the raid, and I haven't really done trials yet.
Okay.
I play a lot more Crucible. I really I mean, I like Crucible. I was actually playing the old remade map. It reminds me a lot of Halo 2. I'm gonna
Okay.
say like it seems weird, but like what Halo 1 was, it had a kind of an open story that didn't really make a whole lot of sense because it was the new IP.
Yep.
And it was just kind of this open world and putting you, there's Master Chief and this kind of openness that they had, in Destiny 1. And I think that they're bringing it together a lot better. I really, I've enjoyed the base game really a lot more than I like Destiny 1. I think that I grinded out so much of the beta of Destiny 1 that I felt like I'd played the game, like what there was to do in the open world before
Yep.
I'd even got into the game. And now, like going into Destiny 2, you can tell that they totally refocused on making it something to where you're running through the open world and you're kept busy because you're playing with your friends, you're finding lost sectors, you're trying to do the mission to complete the story, but you're running into all the side stuff. So it really expands the game and gives you more of a reason to travel in the open world with like the random events that happen more often and give you an indicator that they're going to happen, So
Okay.
it's really cool. I mean, I think that the base game of it's really a lot better, well done, and the storytelling's really good. But yeah, I haven't dabbled too much with the raids. I know we got some intense players here that are all at 300 plus light now. You know what I mean? And I'm still making my way up there. But yeah, no, I really like it.
Okay. Well, that was one of the things I know that it is, and we talked about it our last podcast. We went into the pros and cons, the raging rants of some, and then the love of others on the game. Lots of us here, that's what we've come to play with each other is Destiny. And then one of the things that has happened this week were two major things that we have grown to love or hate. And first is Iron Banner, which has started this week. As a PvP player in D1, did you play a lot of the 6v6 or the trials?
Well, I can't say that I played a lot of trials. I did play trials I didn't have like a consistent team that I was on there every weekend with. But I mean, I played with Surgical a couple times, and I've got a couple other friends on there that have their little groups, and I would jump in with them. But I play Iron Banner. Really, Iron Banner, I felt like it was where it was at. It was the way to level up in the game without playing the raids and stuff like that. So if you didn't have the constant 6 people on there playing Destiny, and I like Destiny too, like I said before, but I have a bias towards the game. I'm just gonna put that out there that I really like Halo, and it's not far off for me to like Destiny 2 with my love for Destiny 1, But no, I really like Iron Banner more than anything, and I did play some of the 6v6 events.
Do you like the 4v4 compared to the 6v6? Have you been able to get into the 4v4?
Well, see, I don't know. I don't know that they have the open maps for the 6v6 is the thing, though, because it seems like all the maps are kind of more closed in this time around.
D2 has no 6v6. All PvP is 4v4. So it's and why I asked the question is I've jumped in, and I think it's become more, which is good, in my opinion. It's become more of a team tactical style shooter. Yeah. Especially whenever you're going in a competitive style. 6v6, I mean, you can run around with your head chopped off, screaming in the corner, and you're still going to get kills. Yeah. It's just, I don't even know if it's controlled chaos. It's just fucking chaos. It is a lot
more organized. It's way easier to do, well, not easier. It's easier to lose or win control. Like, with this week being control, like, you can tell, like, when you got your good teams on there and they're actually controlling 2 points the entire time and your team's, like, running 1-1. But I think it does make it a lot better. It's probably definitely for balancing, I feel like. But what was I gonna say? The Nightfall. The Nightfall 3v3, or it's just 3.
Yeah, it's straight up.
Why did they do that though? I don't understand why they went with the 4-person fire team, but then the 3-person Nightfall.
Yeah. Nightfall's always been. I mean, any activity in essence, story or a PvE style has been, unless you're doing a single person event. So how in D2, you get your powers and all that kind of shit on the Shard. It's all single player. Everything else has always been a 3-person fire team. Be it a Nightfall, be it a Strike.
In like stories and stuff like that? I've only been playing with 2 other people, so we haven't had a 4th person doing any of that.
I believe in story mode, you can run the entire story in a 3-man fire team.
Okay, well, I mean, can you run it in a 4-man fire team, though?
No. It's only PvP.
See, that's what confused me, because I thought I tried to jump in with them the other day, and they had another slot, and I jumped into orbit with them, and then we tried to start the Nightfall, and it was not letting us start off, and I just told them, I was like, well, go ahead, you guys do it, Yep. You guys are grinding, and
so they've sort of, I guess, rope that area off of the game, and that PvE side is just a max of 3.
Because I thought the whole thing was, 4-man fire teams, and then I'm just thinking, why are they doing that for the Nightfall? Like, I thought they strayed away from that.
Yeah. So, but no, it's been that, along with another thing I will say. Serge has asked me what I like. I do not like Lord Saladin as the head of Iron Banner. Lord Saladin, he gets animated, but he is nothing like Shaxx.
Oh, yeah.
To hear Shaxx yell in your ear that you are the greatest Titan of all and you could kill everybody on the battlefield, It just, I mean, it gets.
There are not many like you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that shit is so much. That's, I mean, I have an entire soundboard of just Shaq clips because he's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't like Saladin very much, but
I do want to hear the die, die, die. I heard that in LMG chat. People talked about getting the We Have No More Medals medal and him coming up with that.
Really?
So I've got to get in there and do that.
There is a couple. There's another one that somebody had dropped that somebody had got like 20 kills, and he makes some statements and then starts coughing because he's been screaming, and then he tells Shax to go get him a glass of water or something like that. So I mean, there's some in there, but again, I mean, I'm okay at PvP, but I'm not going to go on a 20-man kill. So I'm never going to hear that stuff. I'm going to have to go to the internet to go find it. But that's one of the things. And then the other thing that got pushed, which people were looking for, Mr. Moose, thank you for all of the bits, but you're not going to overflow my cup because I don't have one right now. So save your bits until I throw the cup up there, and then you can have some fun. The Prestige, or the hard mode raid, got pushed to the 18th. It was supposed to drop yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So there were, and it got pushed late. A tweet came out probably Monday evening, 5-6 o'clock, that said that it was going to get pushed to the 18th, and they didn't say why, but there is a known cheese in the throne room, which is the last encounter where you are capable of making all the ads disappear. So I agree with it being pushed. Get the thing as best as possible. It's still janky as fuck. We ran a raid last night, and there is just some. I mean, I guess running raids with Destiny, it's a known factor. You're going to get glitches sometimes, but that's part of it. So it's now going to be harder, and
I think that's a bit of the fun, though, is exploiting the game. You know, you run up on that boss, and he ggets stuck in the wall, and you just hack away at him with your hilt.
Well, part of it, and if I remember it's right. I mean, you can go find what the cheese is. There used to be an old cheese for Crota, where whenever you got him into his kneeling position, I believe the host would pull their Ethernet cord or disconnect, and he would stay in the kneeling position, and then you could just kill him.
Well, I like the brothers where you could be in the kneeling position if you remember the Mario
Yes,
brothers.
oh yeah, you could get right up on him and just shoot him in the
Yeah.
junk over and over again.
Just pull out a sniper and end it real quick.
Yep.
I mean, I loved doing that when it came out because other players playing with you, like, what is he doing?
Yep.
He's gonna get stomped.
So in this one, I think it's
great.
the same thing. You, I guess somehow, some way that your entire fire team can die, and somebody goes to orbit, and it just deactivates everything. So get it finished, and we can move on. But that starts on the 18th, and unless anything else changes. But that's our Destiny talk. We're not talking anymore. If you want to talk about it, there's our Destiny channel in Discord, as well as our, see, what do we got? A Destiny group along with a bunch of different clubs and groups on the website. Go there, spark a chat. There's always people in there who want to talk. So, two things I wanted to throw out there. I don't play them, but I thought I've seen this forever, and you actually said something earlier. Friday the 13th dropped. Is it been in beta?
I don't know. I guess it's been early access. I had to ask my friend the same thing the other day because I know that when it came out a while back, because one of my friends was playing on Xbox and posting little video clips like you can do the DVR clips, and yeah, I don't know. I guess it's full release now.
It's
and
full release on Friday the 13th.
I was looking at it last night on Steam and just trying to see what everything that's included. I don't know. I'm interested to play it actually now. I've got Dead by Daylight, and I've played a bit of that, and that game's a lot of fun. And if it's anything like that, and it's got kind of the warp thing where you can, be sneak up on your. Well, it's like the Jason sneak where he's everywhere at one time. So it's interesting, man. I really do want to play it and check out all the different generations that they got in there. Okay,
I'm getting spammed in chat. They want to know how long is the Jesus hair of Uber Disco.
I have to find our resident tape measurer. Give me 1 second,
All right,
actually,
you do that.
and I will be back. I have somebody at the door.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Yay! So now this is Rip's time to talk all by himself. Oh man, I need to figure out what I want to say. Now, Uber Disco is going to go find his tape measure, and I know I've got guys in chat too. One of the other things besides Friday the 13th, which I will only play if someone, and I'll go into this later, provides me with some sort of incentive to play it at night by candlelight during Extra Life, because I don't play scary ass games because I don't like that shit. I like to shoot space aliens, and I don't like to be scared out of my pants. But let's see. We'll talk about that, Adam. Looks like Mr. Uber Disco is coming back, and we'll see what's up if he unmutes himself. Unmute yourself. Oh, there you go.
My bad. Sorry.
No, you were muted, weren't you?
Yeah, you're right. Thanks. Good call.
No
Would've been
worries.
Sitting there for a minute. Yeah, no, it's probably about 2 feet. I would say about 2 feet.
Holy
I have to get
shit.
the tape measure. I could pull it right here, but I just can't find it right now. So
Oh my
we'll
goodness.
see. We'll see if we hit the 24-inch mark there.
Man. All right, there you go, guys. You're looking at 24 inches of hair on Mr. Uber Disco's head. So, and I thought I rocked whenever I got my chin hair longer than the hair on top of my head. But, all right. So that was one of the things. The other one of the games that is finally coming out, and I know Mr. Adam in chat has had this for a long ass time, is Fractured Butthole by South Park. So, did you play Stick of Truth at all, Uber Disco?
I watched my girlfriend play,
Okay.
and I enjoyed watching her play. Actually, I'm not a big RPG fan, but I mean, I do. I like action RPG, so I'll play like Zelda Breath of the Wild and
Yep.
Skyrim, the old Zeldas, of course. I love those,
yeah.
but like. I get into more of the action RPGs where you actually do your inputs. I'm not a huge like Final Fantasy fan, games like that. So, and I know it's a little bit more like it does have its action elements, more like the Mario versus, or is it Mario and Luigi? I think.
In which
Well,
one?
those games, it's Mario and Luigi is
Okay.
the game series. So they have you do your little context of attacks and stuff like that. You tap X or whatever. But no, it's great. I think that those games are really awesome because they feel like the show. I mean, it feels like you're playing the show.
Yeah. That was the one thing. I think if you are I've watched it in probably season 1, 2, and 3. There are a lot of points that it hits off of that if you were an avid South Park fan, you would get those little tidbits, those little Easter eggs. The game itself, it was fun. It was an easy ass little RPG that you could run around with. There is some rather disturbing things that go on in that game.
Like the last boss battle there, yeah.
Yes. Let's just say that you are a little tiny person, and you need to make sure that you don't get hit by big sweaty balls.
Oh yeah. The parent fight.
Parent
trap.
yes,
We'll
exactly.
call it parent trap.
Yeah, there's some things in there that are just, don't play it with your kids around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably don't want to watch South Park with your kids around.
Very
I
true.
came into it at a young age, and I think that things weren't as well censored when I was a kid. But
Yep.
it's great though if you're an adult.
Oh, it's good fun. So hopefully, again, this is being done by I guess what is it, Matt Stone and Trey Parker as the executive producers. So it should be good. It's been delayed a couple times because they want that stamp of approval that went on Stick of Truth. So it is. If you bought, I know back in the day you could buy Stick of Truth whenever it went backwards compatible, or actually whenever I think they brought a up-res version to the Xbox One. You got, actually no, I'm sorry. If you bought Fractured Butthole, 2 years ago when it dropped, you got Stick of Truth on your Xbox One. So that's just one of the things. So it's coming out, it releases, and hopefully some of the guys in the community play it, and we'll see what happens. And then the other game that I know a lot of us were looking at, and I don't know, Uber Disco, if you've played it, I've picked it up, is Cuphead. Have you played any Cuphead?
I am. Okay, so I'm really excited to pick up this game with the lack of the job for the last like 6 months that I've been out of work.
Yep.
I haven't been trying to pick up like any new titles unless I made like excess cash off of a PC. So
Right.
I haven't really been picking up too much new stuff. Like that's why I'm doing the GameFly rental thing with
Yep.
the Destiny 2 as a cheap option. I got a month free, so I went about that route. But no, I'm gonna pick it up. It's cheap, and I love retro games. Like it's right up my alley, and it's got the great graphics engine. I mean, it looks like an old Mickey Mouse cartoon, and
It is
I'm into
beautiful.
all that. It's just that's everything screams me. So
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is. Oh my God, it's infuriating. It's also set to a point where you can fail and get directly back into it to try again.
So let me ask you, is it like Contra? Is it like I asked J-Man the same thing.
Uh huh.
Like, is it like Contra or is it more like Mega Man where you're going through levels that are more of a puzzle, or is it like Contra where you're trying to like destroy enemies as they come at you and kind of platform a little bit?
There, in those descriptions, I would go with Contra. It is not, man. I'm not going to
Because you
say
know
it's
In Mario you have more the
Mar-
level set up to be the puzzle instead of you fighting
right,
enemies, you know?
and it's not a side scroll. Well, I'm not going to tell you it's a side scroller.
Yeah.
Because there are different levels within each island that are side scrollers, and
Yeah.
those are your platforming, and that's where you get your coins to get your to purchase any upgrades. But your boss fights that they're set in a static image, and then there is going to be, man, it could be multiple transitions of a boss. You could have a single transition of a boss up to 3 or 4 transitions, and there may be a slight difference of maneuvering as well as firing.
See, that sounds a bit like Mega Man, where they transform
Really?
like some of the sub bosses, not the main bosses, but like when you fight more of the end bosses, when you get to the end of Mega Man, you'll fight like these big robots that might have 3 or 4 transformations.
Okay. Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, is it like, would you say it's like Gradius or like the side-scrolling shooting games when it
What
goes into those, or
again? The only time I've done the side scrolling is whenever, and it's multiple enemies that are dropping from the top of the screen as well as coming from each side. Sometimes you'll have a mushroom that pops up and it shoots something. Then you can. I've seen runs where you don't fire anything, and you can just traverse through the entire thing with just your dash and your jump, and collect your coins and be finished with it. And it looks like Adam says it is sort of like horizontal Galaga, very much like Gradius. So, I'll tell you is it's hard as fuck. I have there when you start playing, you get simple, and then I think you get regular.
see, but I love those kind of games though too. I'm really
Yeah.
into the shoot 'em ups and the bullet hells and stuff. Like playing the Japanese games. Like
Yep.
I said, I'm a big Mega Man fan, so like those
Okay.
games are just known for being hard,
Oh yeah.
and kind of having that difficulty curve compared to other games. Not
Yep.
that Contra is not hard. Contra is hard in a different way though. It's more getting your surroundings,
Really?
instead of
Okay.
following the level.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I'm
it's
interested to play for sure. It looks great.
I've got a I think I've got a stream from last week where I played the first island, and I'm going through and just doing it on simple, and then coming back to regular, and then I think after you beat it on regular, then it opens up expert, and then you
Okay.
go back through all 4 islands again on the expert level, and it gives you. I will have to say the first thing I don't if you're well. You buy Cuphead, you're going to get it on PC as well as your Xbox because it is a play
Yeah, I
anywhere
plan on
title.
doing the play anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did have to remap my buttons because and it's something I've read, and probably the guys in chat will say the same thing. The button layout is a little funky on
Yeah.
how to do your shoot, dash. They want you to do a parry as well. So I had to remap on my Elite controller. I remapped and made a Cuphead setup for that. Mouse and keyboard may be totally different. I haven't tried it yet on the PC. So,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna side scroll with the mouse and
yeah,
keyboard.
I don't know what I want to do with that yet, but it's
Yeah.
fun. It's another one of those games where you can pick it up, you can play a couple levels, or at least try to get through a couple levels, and then it's like, okay, guess what? I'm done. My brain hurts. I want to go do something else, and you can drop it and come right back to it later. So, and it's beautiful. The music's awesome, but it is hard as shit. So,
Yeah. Might
I'm
have to
looking
pick
forward
it
to
up
getting
this
back
weekend
in.
and check it out with Blaze. Yeah, that'd be a nice little weekend plan. Try and
Yep.
grab that in Friday the 13th.
Sweet. Well, you have to let me know how Friday the 13th goes. Have you played any of it? Is it a survival style game? Is it something that
From
you
See, I think it's the same as Dead by Daylight, like I
Okay.
said, where you play the survivors on one side and then one person plays Jason.
Okay.
So instead of playing different I guess killers like you get in Dead by Daylight, you're just Jason. And I hope it's different levels, different scenes from like different movies and stuff. I imagine it is like that though.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, it drops. I know it's been in open beta for a while because I've seen a lot of people on Twitch streaming it and things like that. So, but well, cool. That's that. You brought up something earlier, and then you were talking about it a couple minutes ago. You've been out of work, but it sounds like you are starting a new avenue, a new job, something that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
relatively interesting. So let
I
us
haven't
know.
started yet. It's actually gonna I should be starting here in November. Um my buddy runs an arcade around here, a local arcade. His name's Jesse. He runs Arcade Legacy, and he's been around for a while. When I started dating my girlfriend, we were actually her friends wanted to go to bars and stuff like that, and I'm not a big drinker or anything, so I asked them if they wanted to find an arcade, around the area, and we found this place in Ohio, and we talked then, and he asked me about over here. I'd come out a couple times, and he said, is there any locations in Kentucky? Because I mean, we're like so close to each other, and he has players coming from Kentucky over there. But he asked me, is there a place in Kentucky where I could open up? That'd be a good place. And I told him about Newport and them just doing development over here. And yeah, now he's opening, and he offered me a job.
Oh,
He knows
excellent.
of my game knowledge. He knows that if I see a rare title come in or something, I'll be able to spot that, and I know if someone comes in there asking to play a certain game, I'm gonna know exactly what console.
Okay. So is this going to be a video game store, brick and mortar? Is it going to be an arcade, or they're going to be what
It
type
is
of?
an arcade. So
Okay.
Arcade Legacy is it's really cool. I mean, I was even telling him like I thought about doing things like that as a kid, and he's like, I have so many people say this, you know what I mean? Like, but and I'm like, it's hard to execute though. I mean, you actually went out and did it. Jesse did, and I mean, it's nice. He's got a used game store, so he sells and buys used games, any console, any system, and he runs an arcade. So it's a I'm not gonna say it's free to play. So it's $5 to get in if you wanted to play for an hour. Let's say you had a lunch break or something at work and you're near the Cincy Mills Mall, you could go in there for an hour, pay $5, play a couple arcade games, and leave. And you don't have to pay for the arcade games. You don't put quarters in them. He actually has somebody on site that repairs the machines, and he actually modifies every machine to have a button to press to insert credits for you. So you can play any game that you want as many
Really?
times as you want to completion. You can pump in quarters when you've died after the continue. And it's really nice. It's great out there, and he's got a lot of really cool cabinets. I mean,
Cool.
cool cabinets, pinball, and yeah, I get to sort through the games. I guess tomorrow I'm gonna start up with him, and we're gonna sort through some of the stock that we have and start setting up over there. But yeah, right now nothing's set in stone and official. But I mean, I'm pretty bashful about accepting the job. I just don't want to say it, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
he already told me, he's like, it's gonna be simple. You're gonna come in, you're gonna know what to do. It's not gonna
Excellent.
be anything for you.
Well,
Yeah, but
congratulations, man.
if anyone's in the Kentucky, Cincinnati area, definitely check out Arcade Legacy. They do a lot of streaming and events like Smash Brother events and just different little niche things. It's really cool.
Well, good, good. Well, I think we do have a couple guys in that area, so if they're out and around, yeah, swing on by, say hi to Uber. So, very cool. Well, congratulations, sir. I'm glad that
Thank you.
sort of came
Yeah,
came up and fits in there. So, good. Um, that pretty much, I think. Well, one other thing, we are in October, and we're less than a month away from the annual Extra Life charity event for Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. If you guys know me or have talked to me before, this will be my 5th year in doing Extra Life. It is a 24 to 25 hour marathon gaming event. to raise money and awareness for Children's Miracle Network. My camera needs to be zoomed in. Nobody wants to see my face, Adam. They want to see the beard. So, I'm going to be going for 25 hours is the plan. I think Mr. Adam as well is on the team, and I believe actually Harvey Dent for DA signed up as well. And you get to pick which hospital that you like to that you want to support. I support the Seattle Children's Hospital. They're in Seattle, Washington. They took care of my cousin while she was battling and finally succumbed to infantile leukemia about 20 years ago. So that's something that I like doing, and it's a way that I can give back. And this year, the beard is on the line. So 2 years ago, I shaved my head, actually took a mohawk and all that kind of stuff, and then shaved the head. This year, it is whoever gives the highest donation will be able to identify whatever the hell they want. Do I shave it? Do I keep it? Do I turn it into a bowl and eat soup from it? Do I make it into little horsies? Do I dye it? Do I do any of these things? So that's something that you guys will see a little bit on the site as more. And then looks like Adam is doing it for the Levine Hospital there in his hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you want to look at it, it's extralife.org on Google or your favorite search device. And it was started, I'd say probably about 7-8 years ago and it was just a community thing that started up. There was a girl here in the Houston area, and she went into the hospital, had cancer, and they were just started. She was a gamer and just started. I think if anybody's run into him or heard of him, Sarcastic Gamer, another community out there, just started sending her games and consoles, and it was a great way for her and the kids there in the kids ward of the Children's Miracle Network to pass time. And she finally passed away. But it was one of those things that it just kept growing. And every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you guys listen to Rooster Teeth does something. Giant Bomb does something. The guys at Games, XSplit, Xbox, PlayStation, they all jump in and have a little hand in it. And I believe, it's been up to, I think, 8 million was what was raised last year. And it's a homegrown style of gaming charity compared to some of the other ones that are developed and done more by the producers and the developers and those types of things. So it's a gaming charity by gamers for kids. So something that we're going to be doing out there. I'll be dropping my stream in it is November 4th. Probably start about 8 or 9 a.m. and then running. That's also your daylight savings time. So back in the day, that would mean you get an extra hour of drinking. Now, as I'm older, that means I get an extra hour of gaming. So just hit me up if you got any questions. I'm thinking about running a raffle as well for donations. So I need to get that underhand, and I'll put that up on the website. But that's my spiel. I'll have one more spiel in a couple weeks when we have our Halloween edition of the podcast. And if you got any questions, just hit me up. But Extra Life, that's my jam. I do that shit. I love it every year. It goes to a great cause, and I hope you guys come out and enjoy it.
So could I sign for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's. I will find.
I don't have a huge channel, but if I could do it and it's on a date. You said it's November 4th.
November 4th. It's a Saturday. But
it's a Saturday.
The good thing about it is, it's nothing that's set in stone that says, hey, guess what? If you sign up, you have to do this.
Yeah.
So
I'll definitely mention it to Arcade Legacy too, because they've got their own stream. They do Beat It or Die Trying. They've been doing all the 3DO games on the last couple episodes. So I'll mention it to him. He's probably already signed up for it, but I might sign up myself if I'm not working by that date. So
yeah. So I just dropped it in chat. It's also in the browser. So right now it's the League of Mature Gamers. Our overall team rank is 777. We've raised $275 towards our $2,500 goal. And again, there's only a couple guys on it, but it's something that I've done for the last couple years and really enjoy it. So it's good. It's also It's also a great excuse to tell your wife, hey, guess what? Or your girlfriend or significant other. I'm playing games for 25 hours, and it's for charity. So
I'll talk to you about that later. What you're talking about.
So, but that's it, guys. Wanted just to drop that in there for you. And that is our LMG Live for we don't have any topics, so we're just going to shoot from the hip, and I think it went over well. Uber, thank you much for coming out. Oh, man.
Sorry for the mouthful, guys. I just tried to fill some time here.
No, you did excellent. So, again, this is, I mean, LMG Live is open. We want to be able just to have good discussions amongst the community. So anybody's interested, again, go to our Discord, go to the website. We have a podcast section in there. Throw in questions, throw in comments, things that you want. Actually, I want to do this before we sign off. I did find it this week, and I want to read the reviews that we have for LMG Live, because they are funny as shit. There's my feed. I want to go here. And I said I know how to do this. But there's one I want to read that is by Old Ronin. If you guys have played with him before, his words are silky smooth and they sound great in my ear holes. All right. LMG Podcast. So that... Reviews. Here we go. Exceptional Gaming Podcast. These folks are a pure joy to listen to. Their smooth, sultry voices drop into my ears like warm honey and make my insides tingle with electric anticipation. Engaging gaming discussion that covers all consoles and all types of multiplayer gaming. I find myself feeling like a member of their community. Highly recommend for anyone that enjoys a little gaming. So, more stuff like that, guys. Go back to LMG Podcast. If you want to drop a review, we would love it. 5-star reviews mean we move up in gaming podcasts, but that's what it's there for. If you don't like it, let me know. Hey, I'm here.
Vernon.
I'm here.
He has a way with words, man.
Yes, he does. So I'm here to help and try to make this better for all of us. And Uber, where can we find you?
On Discord. You can find me at Discord, uberdisco@gmail.com. I mean, if you're looking for personal stuff, you want to purchase something, you need me to send you something through, whatever, I've got a PayPal set up, and I'm willing to ship, guys.
All right, there you go. We're going to start the Uber Disco, the dynasty right over here. So, and then you guys know me. I'm LMG, TheFlaminC. You can find me here on Twitch at TheFlaminChode. You can find me on Discord at RipTheFlaminC. You can find me on Xbox at LMG, TheFlaminC. So just drop me a line. If you're interested in joining us on the podcast, it is every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then I try to do the production value and all those types of things on Thursday, and then have it out to iTunes by about noon on the following Friday. So, and then we also have a new podcast that is into the podcast feed. There is the Raging Rants, done by Mr. Raging Moose. So he had his first podcast last week. I think he's going to look at doing them once a week or so, 30 minutes to 45 minutes of just the Raging Rants of a Canadian. So, hey, let him go in there. You may like it, you may not, but it's always fun for a little bit of debate. And his remarks are not the remarks of everyone here at LMG. They're just of Mr. Raging Moose. So go check it out. But that's it for tonight, guys. I don't have anybody. Everybody I know is watching the stream right now. So if you have a favorite person to go out and watch on Twitch, go see them. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have anybody right now. So go out, have fun, enjoy yourself, have a great day. And as always, be excellent.
Be excellent
Peace.
to each other.
Be excellent to each other. Peace out, guys. See you later.